With LIV Golf shaking things up on the world scene of late and the emergence of a young golfer by the name of Tom Kim, there is plenty going on in the sport. Eugenio Lopez-Chacarra has recently exposed an awkward issue in the sport, and Kim has broken a long-standing Tiger Woods record. Today we are discussing both Lopez-Chacarra and Tom Kim, plus some other golf bits and pieces, so stay with us. Let's jump straight in then. What's all this about Eugenio Lopez-Chacarra? Spanish player Lopez-Chacarra only turned pro in June of this year, but already he is a millionaire 5 times over as he scooped winnings of $5.4 million in the latest LIV Golf event. Eugenio took first place in the event in Bangkok after carding a final round 3 under to beat Patrick Reed by 3 shots. Lopez-Chacarra had been in superb form throughout his previous 2 rounds, as you might expect, posting scores of 65 and 63 before his final round 69, then describing his maiden LIV Golf Tour win as great. The Spaniard went on to say, "I'm playing with the best players in the world, and that's what I've wanted to do since I was little, and I'm learning from each of them," before adding that it's been a dream. We bet it has been, considering how much money he's just won. However, a major sticking point is that he won't earn any world ranking points despite LIV Golf merging with MENA in a bid to make sure their players receive points recently. This means Lopez-Chacarra may fail to qualify for next year's majors, even though he has beaten the likes of British Open champion Cameron Smith, as well as players like former world number 1 Dustin Johnson and Big Phil Mickelson. LIV Golf needs to sort this issue out as soon as possible. Of course, they have some of the best players on the planet, but if those players aren't playing majors, then what is all this for? Next up, we're talking about Tom Kim. There appears to be something in the water over in South Korea at the moment. With the emergence of players like Im Sung-jae and Kim Si-woo over the past few years, there's now yet another young prodigy making waves on the PGA Tour. Earlier this month, Tom Kim won the Shriners Children's Open in Las Vegas to become the first player since Tiger Woods back in 1996 to win 2 PGA Tour events before his 21st birthday. Kim shot a brilliant 5 under 66 in his final round to edge out Patrick Cantlay by 3 shots, and incredibly, he got through the entire tournament without carding a single bogey. Finishing 24 under par, Kim bagged his second tournament to win his past 4 starts, but it was almost different as Cantlay forced him to the final hole. Fortunately for the Soul Man, Cantlay's tee shot on 18 is one of the worst in recent memory, as his second shot from the bush went exactly nowhere. He then needed to take an unplayable lie, but at this point, Kim was nailed on to win. Speaking after the win, "I got very lucky on the 18th, I'm not going to lie. Patrick played awesome, and it was an honor to battle with him and come out on top. I feel very fortunate." He then gave props to his caddy, whom he credited with keeping him in the competition. What do you guys make of Tom Kim? News of the latest LIV Golf event now. Stay with us. Former world number 1 Brooks Koepka managed to stave off the challenge of his Smash GC teammate Peter Uihlein to win the latest tournament of the inaugural LIV Golf season to finish top of the pile at the LIV Golf Invitational Jeddah. The pair could not be separated through the regulatory 54 holes, so were forced into a playoff for the top prize of $4 million. The crowd at the Royal Green Golf and Country Club were treated to an exciting extra 3 holes, as the format dictates that the players involved in a playoff must repeat the 18th hole until one wins. And after both men made birdie on the first 2 playoff holes, Koepka finally made the breakthrough 3rd time around. Unfortunately for Uihlein, his bunker shot found the water, and Koepka took home the check in what is likely to be the most expensive bunker shot to date. However, he still banked a cool $2,125,000, so he probably won't be too upset. Chile's Joaquin Niemann and Spain's Sergio Garcia finished tied for the 3rd spot, each banking $1,275,000, with Dustin Johnson, Paul Casey, and Matthew Wolff all finishing tied for 5th place. The money around the game these days is bordering on ridiculous, and it's no surprise that these guys have been called out for defecting to LIV Golf for what is simply sheer greed. Give us your thoughts on the LIV Golf defectors below. Jack Nicklaus has had his say on the so-called elevated PGA events next. Stick around. Nicklaus is the all-time record major winner, so when he talks, those in golfing circles tend to listen. And recently, he has questioned how wise it is to elevate 12 events to a more prestigious standing. The Tour, in a bid to compete with LIV Golf, have promised that they will provide a prize fund of between $15 and $20 million for the Tour's top players to share out. But Jack's concerns lie with the so-called lesser tournaments and players. He said, "I'm not sure what to make of it yet," before adding, "I think the Tour was going to get there, but the LIV thing pushed them. That's pretty obvious. What it's done is made the PGA Tour almost 2 tiers. All of a sudden, the other tournaments become feeders." And whilst he might have a point about there now appearing to be 2 tiers, we're not so sure the PGA Tour would have gotten there without a serious push from a competitor such as LIV Golf. The PGA Tour has instigated multiple changes of late in a bid to stay relevant and compete against the Saudi-backed upstart. One of those changes will see the Tour's top 20 players receive a purse bump, with those players being decided by the Player Impact Program. However, Nicklaus has raised the point of what the field will look like outside of the planned 20-event schedule, as most players are now simply going to focus on those events. Give us your thoughts below. Cam Smith has opened up on what it would mean to be barred from Augusta next. Of course, the reigning British Open champion has made his bed after joining LIV Golf, but should he and the rest of the defectors be banned from playing at Augusta in the future, then they would simply be forced to lie in said bed. However, that hasn't stopped Smith from claiming that the possibility of not being allowed to play at the world-famous course would be heartbreaking. Speaking recently, the Aussie has explained that should Augusta National move to ban anyone associated with LIV Golf, which has been suggested recently, then he would be devastated. Those who have signed on with LIV Golf this year remain banned from PGA Tour events, but as of now, October 17th, they are still eligible to play in the 4 majors in what is the biggest civil war ever to hit the sport of golf. Smith has been in good form during his previous appearances at Augusta, with 4 top 10 finishes in 6 attempts, but with the 4 tournaments expected to review their entire criteria ahead of 2023, he could yet still find himself out in the cold. He said, "I hope I can play. Obviously, I can't speak for them, Augusta. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get back there." Smith, who won his first major at St. Andrews earlier this year, went on to say, "It's a place I love, and I've got a pretty good record around there too, so it would be heartbreaking if I couldn't get back there." And finally, a spot of sarcasm from Dustin. Stay tuned for this one. Of course, the LIV Golf defectors should probably tread carefully and do their best not to upset fans of the sport, but this message clearly hasn't gotten through to Dustin Johnson. Having never been big on fan or media engagement, Johnson alienated himself even further last week as he spoke about his decision to sign up for the Breakaway League. Showing just how sarcastic he can be, Johnson, who was arrested for a DUI in 2009, admitted that he was recently discussing the issue before adding, "I was really regretting my decision to come here. This is just terrible. I was sitting here Tuesday night thinking about it." Of course, his remarks might well anger the 4 major tournaments, who may use it as ammunition to ban the defectors for next year's majors, but that didn't seem to register with him as he went on. "It was really bothering me a lot. I just can't get over it." We'll see if the sarcasm remains if his current PGA ban is extended to the Masters and other majors. As usual, thanks for dropping in on us today, and remember to swing by again next time for some more fun and games. And why not do us a big favor by liking and sharing today's video, whilst also remembering to subscribe to our channel. Bye guys!